And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of New Earth TV Live, taking place here on Sunday. Good to be with you all once again. It's been a bit of a busy week, but I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing today with Earth Mass Meditation. We're also going to be doing some distance healing, and we're also going to be doing some Q&A as well too. So if you do have distance healing requests, either for yourself or for someone else, you can put that into the chat. And then, of course, if you have questions later on, making sure that your questions are semi-personal and general in nature. No personal questions, that's what private sessions are for. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started, firstly, with our announcements.
The world's first spiritual rejuvenation technology in the form of modern everyday items has arrived through Etherics. Etherics offers transcendental healing products that work to detoxify, replenish, and restore you on a physical, emotional, and mental level. The Aether Bed Kit takes the form of a powerful rejuvenation technology that utilizes your own life force energy to restore organs, glands, bodily systems, the energy system, and replenish emotional and mental well-being. The Etherics card decks, the healing code cards, eliminate and detoxify physical, emotional, and mental conflicts within the body. 44 beautifully designed geometrical cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. The healing code cards come in 3 different themes: the body, mind, and energy decks, each with their own specific design to renew and rejuvenate the body. Etherics apparel and accessories that offer comfortable attire and beautiful geometrical and image designs to detoxify, strengthen, and rejuvenate the body. Download our collection of free sample images and cards from our website so that you can witness the benefits of Etherics spiritual technology for yourself. Visit our website now at atherx.co and begin your rejuvenation journey with us.
And I'm just putting this screen on because it's good to know that there is a promo code that is available on Etherics.co. So again, you see the website down here, Etherics.co. Also, we have a YouTube channel for Etherics. It's youtube.com/@EthericStore. But again, you see the promo code above my head here, capital letters Feb1. Okay, and you can get 15% off everything that is on Etherics.co right now. So, and it's valid till February 8th. Also remember that this is a one-time coupon, so a single-use coupon, I should say. So after you use it one time, then that's it for that. Okay, so again, 15% off. There's also going to be another rollout of Etherics items that are going to be available on the website on February 15th. This is including the brand new Ether mat, or what's known as the Ether yoga mat. It is somewhat similar to the Ether bed kit. It doesn't have a concentration mode on it, but it will have a healing mode, it will have a yoga mode, and it will have a sleep mode. Okay, so that's the brand new Ether mat that is coming. That is going to debut on February 15th. There's also going to be some new clothing items that are going to be debuting on February 15th. And what is also going to be debuting on February 15th is the brand new affiliate campaign. Okay, so the affiliate campaign is where you'll be able to refer people to Etherics. And if they buy something, then you get 10% of a commission off their sales. So I'll be talking more about the Etherics campaign coming up here very soon. It's good for you guys to look into my TikTok. Okay, so there's TikTok. Etherics is on there as well too. I don't actually have the link up here. But if you go on to Etherics.co, you'll see a TikTok video there. And you just click on that and you can follow me there on TikTok because all the updates will be on TikTok. It will also be placed on Facebook and Instagram as well too. And of course the Etherics YouTube channel. So again, Etherics YouTube channel is youtube.com/EthericStore. So a lot of great things to look into right now. Like I said, our discount. And of course, February 15th is a big launch date. And that, of course, is going to be the debut of the Ether yoga mat and more clothing items. And of course, the affiliate campaign. Affiliate campaign is really exciting. There are some prerequisites for a person who does want to sign up for an affiliate. But again, all of that will be made obvious when that's ready to roll out on the 15th. So it's basically a small form that you fill out. And what I'm basically looking for with affiliates is making sure that you guys have a good reach, right? So those who have a good reach will be able to sign up as affiliates and make commissions off Etherics products. So more of that coming very, very soon. All right, moving on. Private sessions are available. Like I said, I'm mostly just doing one-to-one private sessions now on Mondays because Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are when I'm doing Etherics. I try to keep the weekends off so I can just have a little bit of self-time. So Tuesdays to Fridays are my Etherics time. Monday is a private session. So again, distance healing requests by donation, one-to-one private sessions, and 3-question sessions by email. So again, tarot readings and higher self-communication is available to the private sessions and the 3-question sessions by email. So find out more at newearthteachings.com, and you can order a session as well. And of course, everything on the YouTube channel here is backed up onto our Odyssey channel. You can find the link also in the video description, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the broadcast today. So hello everybody, good to see you all here. And we're going to start off with the Earth Mass Meditation. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch screens here. Let's see if I can do that here. Okay, there we go. See if I can maybe switch the image here. There we go, that's better. Give it a nice little earth theme. So, for those of you who want to follow along with me today, we are going to do a guided meditation for healing of the earth. Okay, now in the course of the past 2 weeks, we have focused most so on countries, but we're going to be focusing on all countries. We're going to be focusing on the entire planet. Okay, so that is our goal for today. And the first thing we want to do is we just want to get ourselves in alignment, and the process of that, firstly, is heart rate variability. Okay, so we're going to do 10 cycles of heart rate variability breath. This is where you're breathing in for 4 seconds through the nose, breathing out 6 seconds through the nose. Okay, so make sure your spine is nice and straight, and let's take that deep breath in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last time, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let yourself relax. And you can either sit down or lay down for this meditation, whichever you prefer. That's completely fine. If you're laying down, what I want you to do is I want you just to place your hands just on your bed or on your couch, okay? And just feeling your connection with the points, either of the bed or of the couch. Okay, we're basically just looking at our pressure points to where our body is basically sinking into the material item that we're laying on. So whether it be a bed, or a couch, a yoga mat, for example, I want you just to be aware of your points of contact. Okay, so the back of your head, your shoulders, your elbow, your hands, okay, your lower back, the buttocks, the calf muscles, and the heels of the feet. I want you just to sink in to that. Okay, this is just for the ones who are laying down. Okay, I just want you to sink into those points of contact. Okay, just feel yourself immersing yourself into the earth. Feel like, again, as you're sinking into what you're laying on, you're just feeling like you're imbuing yourself deeper into the earth. For those of you who are seated, just having your legs apart, not crossing them, okay, and making sure that you have the points of contact with between the chair and the floor. Okay, so your back, buttocks, thighs, okay, and of course the bottom of the feet touching the earth. Okay, so even if you're on a floor, you're kind of immersing yourself, not just through the chair, but also having your feet immersing themselves to the floor, kind of like they're sinking through the floor a little bit. Okay, now I want you just to feel like you're making that contact with the earth as you're just really feeling that grounded sensation as you're imbuing your feet into the earth, just like it's melding itself right into the earth. And I want you to do this because I want you to feel the earth's heartbeat. I want you to feel the earth's pulse. Okay? We can commonly refer to this as the Schumann resonance. Okay? 7.83 hertz on average. Okay, and I want you just to get yourself quiet. Okay, you can just follow the breath if you need to. Be aware of your senses. Be aware of what you see. Be aware of what you hear. Be aware of what you smell. Be aware of what you taste. Be aware of what you are touching. I want you to experience those all at once. Be aware of all of your senses at once. I want you to be aware of the contact between you and the earth, here and now. Feel her pulse. Feel her breath. Feel her heartbeat. Make her heartbeat yours. Make her pulse yours. And make her breath yours. So that you are completely in sync with Mother Earth. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to do what's known as phantom movements. I want you to raise your right hand without raising your right hand. You're not moving a single muscle in the body. You are feeling the phantom right hand moving. So it's like you're moving the right hand without moving the right hand. Right, so you're just moving the phantom right hand up and down, up and down, up and down. And now I want you to move the phantom right arm. Okay? So not moving a single muscle, but just feeling the phantom right arm moving up and down without moving a muscle. Okay, I want you to do the same with the left, moving the left phantom hand. Okay, without moving a single muscle, moving the left phantom hand. Okay, I want you to move your left phantom arm all the way up without moving a muscle and down. Just know that you're doing it. Don't visualize it. Just know that this is being done. Know that you are moving your phantom body, your astral body. Okay? Now I want you to move your right phantom foot. Okay? So it's like you're moving the right phantom toes and you're moving the right phantom foot up without moving a single muscle. Now I want you to move your right phantom leg all the way up without moving a muscle. Okay, going to your left phantom foot, moving the toes, moving the foot, the phantom left foot, and moving the left phantom leg, not moving a muscle. Moving the left phantom leg all the way up. And now I want you to stand up with your phantom body. If you're laying down, feel the phantom body rising up and standing up past your feet. If you're sitting down, see the phantom body standing up from seated down. Okay, just feel the phantom body, feel the astral body rising up. Good. Now I want you to expand your phantom body, expand your astral body, making it bigger. making it larger, making it wider, making it taller, and just feel yourself growing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You're going all the way past the skyline. You're now so incredibly large, you're now so incredibly colossal that the earth can be held in between the palms of your hand. So I want you to make yourself huge, make yourself gigantic, make yourself colossal. And just see as if you were holding the earth in between your palms. As you are still connected as one with her heartbeat, with her breath, and with her pulse. What you are going to do right now is I want you just to feel your heart opening up. You don't have to put your hands on your heart or anything like that. I want you just to bring your awareness to the heart. I want you to feel it like it's just blossoming like a flower, opening up. Okay? I want you to feel all that light coming out of the heart and flowing into your hands. Okay? And as it flows into your hands, like you're holding the earth in between your palms, you're letting that emanation of the pure heart light shroud the entire earth. So you're feeling that heart light shrouding the entire earth like a cocoon. It is a cocoon of light. And I want you to feel that cocoon of light going very deeply into the earth. You're seeing the heart light from your hands moving into the northern and southern poles of the earth. Okay, all of that light is going right inside. As it goes inside, you're feeling it lighting up the earth from the inside out. Most important thing to understand, everyone, is that the earth is a magnet. Right? She has a null point at her center. And that is what gives the illusion of a north and south pole. Truly, north and south poles do not even really exist. It is the null point effect that creates that impression of a northern and southern pole. The null point representing that of the ether, contained right at her center, right at her core. You have the same thing. You have a null point within yourself. Otherwise, you would not have a magnetism. That's the nature of magnetism. It is a perturbation of the ether. It is a disturbance of the ether. It is the magnetism, the dielectric. It's functioning as one. The earth has that null point. So therefore you're connecting with her magnetism. That magnetism is bonding in between you and the earth. I want you just to feel that pure love just radiating through the earth, right to her null point, at the center of her being. Just like your null point, at the center of your being. And now I want you just to feel all of that heart light touching every single bit of landmass that is on the earth, touching the oceans, touching all forms of life upon the earth. Just as you see here in this graphic of the rotating earth, everything that is upon her, everything that is within her, is being touched with your pure love and your pure compassion. Feeling your null point and the null point of the earth accelerating. And that is the dielectric magnetism cohesion between the two of you. That is you sharing your magnetism. That is you sharing your divine connection with one another. Meeting of the null points is just the meeting of the ether. Meeting of your true beingness. I want just that love flowing through your hands, just completely basking in that love, that compassion, that joy for the earth. You're letting all of that pure divine magnetism flow into the earth, flow into every single living being that is there. Every human being, every animal, every bit of vegetation, every mineral, every element is being saturated through your magnetism of pure love, compassion, and joy for the earth. And we're going to take 2 minutes of silence. I want you to feel that basking of that pure love, just like you see here on the image. You're seeing those blue particles moving into the earth, signifying your love energy, your magnetism that you are sharing with the earth, and bringing that upon the earth and all life that is upon her. So we will take 2 minutes of silence now, and just concentrating on that love that you have for Mother Earth. 2 minutes, beginning now. And taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Just giving your deep blessings to Mother Earth, feeling that love and that peace and that tranquility that is upon all of the lands, that is upon every being, that is upon the earth. Just feeling this incredible, beautiful glow of radiant love that you are placing upon her, through this willingness to assist her, this willingness to help her. I would say, dear soul family, that is the greatest benefit that you can ever give the earth, is your love, is your commitment to connect with her, to help her, and to serve her, just out of the willingness to do so. So let's just feel ourselves in our astral body, our phantom body, now starting to decrease in size. Starting to feel ourselves returning back into the proper size of our physical body as we return now back into our present living space, whether you are sitting down or laying down. And just returning back now to the body, knowing that you are still connected to Mother Earth. You feel her pulse, you feel her breath, you feel her heartbeat. And it's good to continue to feel that for as long as you feel you can. That is where the true beauty of life comes in, is when you learn to connect from within with all life that there is. And as you come back now, just slowly starting to curl the toes physically, starting to move the physical hands, rotate the physical wrists, rotate the shoulders, flutter the eyes, maybe give yourself a good stretch. And when you're ready, you can return. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining me with the Earth meditation. Like I said, you can always go back to the recording and do this again. I, of course, have other webcast recordings where I've worked with mass Earth meditations, so feel free to try any of them. And like I said, the more that we're doing this frequently with the Earth, this is what's bringing us out of chaos and into that natural, harmonious order, living in love with Mother Earth. Okay. So we're going to shift back now, and we're going to go ahead now and move forward into distance healing. So if anybody here does have any requests, again, either for themselves or for someone you know, you can feel free to put that request on the chat. Donations are always welcome as well too. If you have a donation, then that will bring you first in line. So I'm just going to go ahead and refer to the chat right now and just see if there is any healing requests. So again, welcome everybody. Good to see you all here. We already got a couple of questions as well too, but we'll be getting that in Q&A time. So I'm going to be taking 5 volunteers for healing requests today. Then we'll do a group healing at the end. Then we'll move right into Q&A. Now again, if I don't get to you guys today, remember that I also offer distance healing by donation, which is on newearthteachings.com. Okay, so it's a donation amount of any amount that you wish, and I would get back to you, and I schedule you in to do a distance healing session. Okay, so let me just go through the list here. All right, so I can see here that Nancy is the first. Nancy says, "Hi Brad, can I get some healing for my son Sebastian? He's been plagued by the past year with injuries, especially his knees. Now his back keeps going. He's very down and in a lot of pain." Okay, so yes, so I'm thinking we can work together with his whole vertebrae and work with his joints. Okay, so working with the vertebrae and the joints for your son Sebastian. And thank you for providing his name. It's helpful when I'm getting names for the people that I'm working on. It really helps. So Nancy, you can feel free to send some love energy to him in the background. Anybody else who wants to send love energy to Sebastian while I work on him is welcome to do so also. Okay, let me just go ahead and switch to the live chat. There we go, that's better. All right, so I'm going to work with Sebastian. Now again, I'm not too sure if Sebastian is present in the room with you, Nancy, so I'm just going to be calling in Sebastian's higher self, working on him through his higher self, because as I work with his higher self, all of that is going to his physical self at the same time. We have to remember that the higher self and the lower self are connected as one, or the higher self and the physical self is truly one being. All right, so I will go ahead now and just take a moment. Okay, and now I will be calling in Sebastian's higher self. Okay, I can feel Sebastian's higher self present with me. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to place our hands in prayer posture. And of course, the higher self knows all about this. So we are expanding the heart light, expanding it as far and as wide as it can go as we breathe in and breathe out. Feeling all of that light permeating the entire cosmos, representing your love, your trust, your faith, and bringing that light back in. As that light is coming back in, saying to yourself, "I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me." Okay, we will begin now with Sebastian. Here we go. Okay, so Nancy, Sebastian is now being worked on with Spirit. Spirit is now going into him, clearing out his musculoskeletal system, his nervous system, okay, his joints, to where there have been those injuries in that way, okay? So basically, it's important, if you can, tell Sebastian that some healing's been done on him, okay, because he may not know what's going on if he starts feeling these sensations, okay? So if you can call him or if you can talk to him, just let him know that someone is doing healing work on him to helping him feel better. That's always a benefit. And Nancy, what I'd also like you to do is going onto my YouTube channel, and I'd like you to look up the video White Light Energy Ball Technique. Okay, that's White Light Energy Ball Technique. You can find it on my YouTube channel. It's one of my newest videos. I think it's a few videos down. Okay, and I'd like you to do that practice. Okay, what you're doing is you're just sending that white light energy ball into Sebastian's solar plexus with all of your love, with all of your warmth, and with all of your compassion. The best way for you to do this is just to feel like if you could snap your fingers and feel like Sebastian's not in any form of pain anymore. How would you react to that? Right? With a snap of fingers, Sebastian says, "Oh my God, Mom, I'm completely better." How would you feel? Well, you're taking all of that pure feeling, all of that pure quality, and you're making that potency into that white light energy ball. And now you're just slowly putting it into a solar plexus while you're doing Om chanting. Okay, Om chanting either out loud or in your mind. Okay, but you're just Om chanting into her solar plexus until you feel that ball completely absorbed into a solar plexus. After that, you're done. Okay, and it's good to do that daily. That will certainly help him out. Okay, this is where, again, we're working with magnetism, my friends. Okay, the magnetism of your love, the magnetism of your joy, where there's no words. It's just that pure feeling. You're using the power of your potent feelings to heal. Okay, and that is like a geometry that's going directly into your son, Nancy. Okay, and now he can appropriate that energy through them because, of course, it's the love of his mother. Of course, he will always accept the love of his mother. Okay, so that's a very powerful thing that you can do. So, Nancy, blessings to you, and blessings to Sebastian as well. Thank you. Okay, so let me just go down the list here a bit more. This one here is from The Man Demands. Healing request. Hey Brad, asking healing for myself, specifically for the right side kidney. Okay, so I'll just refer to you as the man. Okay, I think that would be best. One sec, guys. I just got some pop-up notifications here. Okay, well, I'll ignore that for now. Okay, so the man demands, yes, we'll do some healing requests for you. Healing for yourself, the right side kidney. All right. So the man, I'll go ahead and just ask you to join me here. I want you just to place your hands here upon the center of your chest. And I want you to feel your heart just opening up like a blossoming flower. As you feel it opening up, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And just feel all of that light from the flower that is the heart. Let all that light come in between your palms like a little ball. Okay? And you're expanding your hands out, feeling that light getting brighter and brighter, wider and wider. Brighter and brighter, wider and wider. As you breathe in and breathe out, expanding your hands as far and as wide as they can go. Representing the light that is permeating the entire cosmos. It is your love, your trust, your faith. Okay, bringing those hands slowly back. As they're coming back, saying to yourself, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, we will go ahead now and begin. Okay. So the man demands, I just want you to go ahead and just bring your hands out again. And I want you just to collect all that light coming back into you. As you're collecting it back, you're slowly bringing it back into the heart space. Okay, as you're doing that, you're just saying, God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Putting all of that light back into your heart. As it returns to light, all of the instructions, all of the codes that have been brought forward through this transmission are coming back into your heart, so that everything is going to work right away to take care of your right kidney. Okay? Blessings to you. Thank you very much. The man demands. Okay. So moving on. Okay, this one here is from Carol Weber. Carol says, "Hi Brad, can you please give some healing to my grandson Lenny, who is 12 years old, nonverbal autistic?" Okay, so yes, I'm just giving Lenny here lots of love. Okay, so just lots of love, lots of support, helping him out with anything that can be done through the power of spirit. All right. So again, Carol, if you want to assist Lenny in the background, sending him some love as well too. One of the things I would suggest is just working with the white ball. Okay. So just as I talked about the white ball, white light energy ball technique. Okay. Using that, you can do that at the same time while I'm also working with Lenny. All right. So I'll just take a moment now to connect and bring Lenny's higher self together here with me now. Okay, Lenny's higher self is now here with me. So again, together, we're expanding the heart light. Bringing that light back in. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. All right, and we will now begin. Okay. Infinite love and blessings to Lenny. Thank you very much, Carol. So like I said, keep sending the white light energy ball to him as well too, with all of your love. Okay. Anything that represents how you're feeling the suffering pertaining to what he's going through. Okay. If I was to snap that finger and watching all of that suffering disappear, how would you feel? That's the feeling that you're putting into the ball. That's the feeling that you're putting into his solar plexus with the Om chanting. And again, your love, your magnetism, your geometry is being placed into him. And that will certainly help him, okay? Thank you very much, Carol. Blessings, infinite blessings to you both. Okay? We just have to remember, guys, you have the power here. There's nothing special about me, okay? You guys have the power to go right into the divine, to go right into your love, to go right into your awareness, to go right into the purity of your consciousness and heal everything that you feel is a problem with yourself right now, okay? It's right here. It's right now. Have the ability to heal yourself and cure yourself completely. You just have to get behind yourself to know that you can do that, right? It's dissolving away that ignorance telling you that you can't, right? That's the challenge. Can I dissolve the ignorance that's telling me I can't heal myself instantly? Can I dissolve away the ignorance that tells me that there's no way that if I have an illness in myself, I have to stick with it for the rest of my life, right? That's what we're dissolving away. That's what we're burning up, right? Like a piece of paper that you're putting a match to, watching it all burn up, so that you're free of the ignorance to know that everything that is within you that you know does not serve you, that has been a manifestation of suffering, can be burnt up, can be cleared away, and can be cured like that. There's nothing special about it, guys. This is magnetism. That's all this is. You're a magnet, okay? But even beyond that, you are the ether. You are the ether that is still. that is silent, that is perfect. Anything that represents the magnetism of yourself is the ether inverting upon itself, creating the illusions of these poles, representing a dielectric field, a magnetic field effect. Okay? Thought does that. That's the power of thought. Thought inverts ether. And that's what creates the idea of magnetism, the dielectric field. Okay? That's all it is. It's thought. It's intelligence. Intelligence is using thought as a bridge to invert ether. Okay? That's why we have the beautiful dielectric field. That's why we have the beautiful magnetic field. Okay? It's nothing but your thoughts at work. What happens when we just shrink all those thoughts down? We get ourselves still. Now the ether folds back upon itself, and again, it's still waters. It's like the fluid within the pond is now completely still. As Adronis would always talk about, is think of the ether as fluid that is no longer disturbed. It's completely still. Okay? And when we have a thought, it's like the idea of the ether sneezing. Okay? You get that force momentum. That thought is the sneeze. And of course we get the debris, the remains, right? The mucus and the phlegm. Okay? That's the magnetic. The magnetic has no inertia. Okay? The dielectric has the inertia, has the momentum, has the force. That's the force of the sneeze. That's the lightning bolt coming down. And that is the idea of how the ether is inverted because it has been perturbated by thought, and it creates a form. There you go, guys. I'm telling you guys the natural science of the ether when it is inverted. I'm telling you how thoughts come to be. It is through intelligence, using the thought through the mind as a bridge, that therefore inverts the ether. The ether is exposed to mind. The ether is exposed to thought. The ether inverts itself. Okay? And then we have the illusion of what we would call a north and south pole, but that is only a byproduct representing the null point that has been therefore perturbated through the nature of the ether. It's pretty simple when you think about it. This is why I have to use analogies. And like I said, if you guys aren't familiar with a fellow named Ken Wheeler, okay, I would suggest you check out his channel. Okay, he does a brilliant job in explaining magnetism. I try and do it in my own way, but he explains it very, very well. It's very technical, but once you kind of listen to it a few times, like, okay, I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying, and it fits very much to like the descriptions I've had, either when I was channeling Adronis or as this is just coming through spirit communication. It's different perspective, but it's all the same thing. Okay? Anyways, that's a little bit of food for thought for you guys. The power of your magnetism can heal all, can heal everything, so that all that remains is the still waters of the ether once again. Okay? Blessings to you all. Okay. So let's go down the list. I think there was a third person, so we're going to do two more people. Okay, this one here is from Francis. Francis says, Brad, would you be so kind as to send me some healing? I have been pretty all sue to hospital mistakes and cannot seem to heal. Okay, I'm not too sure what your condition is, Francis. Something in regards to a blunder from a hospital mistake. So I think what I'll do is I'll just send you some general healing right now, because I wasn't getting a specific area that you wanted me to work on. So we'll do a general healing for you, Francis, okay? So Francis, what I want you to do right now is, if you're tuning into the broadcast right now, I want you just to think of what it is that you're going through, okay? I want you to think of the problem that you're going through right now, okay? Okay, so that is aligned here, and so I'm just going to let Spirit do the work. I consciously do not know it, Spirit does. Okay, so I'm going to let Spirit do the work on the blunder, as you said, the hospital mistake, okay? So we'll work on that. So, Francis, first and foremost, I want you just to go ahead and place your hands in prayer posture. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Feel the heart opening up like a blossoming flower. Okay, feel that heart light from the heart coming in like a small ball in between the palms, expanding the light out. Okay, making it wider and wider and wider, brighter and brighter and brighter. Expanding your hands out as far and wide as they can go. Slowly bring it back. As you bring it back, you're saying to yourself, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay? We will go ahead now and we'll begin based on the imprint of thought that you have given me. Okay, so Francis, I just want you to bring your hands out again. Just bringing all of that light back into yourself. As you're doing that, you're just saying, God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. Bring all of that light back into the heart. Okay, filling all of that light, returning back into the flower of the heart, letting the flower of the heart close. And all of the coding from Spirit is now coming back inside you to work on that condition, that blunder, as you say, the mistake from the hospital. Okay? Blessings to you. You will be well. Take care. Okay, so we're going to do one more healing request, then we're going to do group healing, then we're going to do Q&A. Okay, so this is from Fiona. Fiona says, healing request. Hey, Brad, asking for healing for myself, specifically for my lower back. So whenever there's a back issue, Fiona, I'm just going to work with your entire vertebrae. Okay, we're going to work with all 33 vertebrae. We're going to basically work with the entire skeletal system, okay, as well as the musculoskeletal system and the nervous system in accompaniment. All right, so no problem. So Fiona, just join me here now, placing your hands upon, in prayer posture on the center of your chest. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, feeling your heart opening up like a flower. Feel all that light from the heart coming in between your palms and expanding out the light. Breathing in and breathing out as you make the light bigger and brighter. Okay, permeating the entire cosmos. This represents your love, your trust, your faith. Slowly bringing your hands back. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, we will go ahead now and begin. Okay, Fiona, just taking your hands out now, stretching them out, bring all that light back into yourself, okay? As you're doing that, saying, God is making me better, God is making me better, God is making me better. Bring all that light back into the heart, feeling that flower fold back in. All of that coating in the light now is inside you and going to work on you, making your entire spine, your entire vertebrae, the entire skeletal system, muscular system, and nervous system back in harmony together with that, okay? So everything's going through simultaneous healing, again, as everything is one. It's all one organism, all right? Blessings to you. Thank you very much, Fiona. All right. So guys, we're going to now move on into group healing. We're going to do a bit of a different type of group healing today, okay? It's not so much where I'm encasing you guys in the ball anymore. It's more so in the idea that it's going to be a little bit more different. Okay, so I'm going to just ask you now, just to get yourself nice and comfortable, and just perform a body scan on yourself, okay? All I want you to do is I want you just to be aware of the area that you want to clear away, okay? Now, very important is the area that you want to clear needs to be followed with the answer to this question. Are you ready to give that situation up? Are you ready to give up that condition? be it physical, mental, and emotional. Are you ready to give it up? If the answer is yes, great, we can work on it. Okay? So I want you to do a scan. Anything you're feeling physically, mentally, and or emotionally that you are ready to give up right now. All you're doing is just being aware of it. Okay? You don't have to put it in a ball. You don't have to purge it from your chest or anything like that. You're just being aware of the very thing that you want to clear away right here and right now. Okay? Once you have that, placing your hands upon the center of your chest. Okay? Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, opening up the heart flower. Letting all that light coming in between your palms, expanding it out. As you breathe in and breathe out, making that light bigger and brighter. Okay, representing your love, your trust, your faith, bringing it back to yourself. Okay, as you're bringing it back to yourself, if this is for yourself, you're just saying, I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. If this is for somebody else, you're saying, I completely believe that the healing that they shall receive shall heal them. Okay, so you're devoting your own healing because you're going to get it too, but you're also devoting it to another person, which you can specify now as you bring the light back in. Okay, and you can just place your hands back in prayer posture, or you can just keep your hands like this, or you can keep them on your lap, whichever you prefer. Okay, we'll go ahead now and we'll begin. Okay, so I want you all now to just go ahead and stretch your hands out. Okay, bringing that light back into yourself. I completely believe that the healing that I shall receive will heal me. Okay, and also just saying, God is making me better. God is making me better. God is making me better. For a friend or a family member that you're dedicating this to, God is making them better. God is making them better. God is making them better. Okay? Feeling all of that light going back into your heart. If it's for somebody else, feeling all of that light going back into their heart. Okay? Feeling the heart turn, starting to move and fold back upon itself. All of those instructions are there. I want you to take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay? And I want you to witness yourself right now. Just asking yourself now, does that problem still exist within me? Okay? So if you're feeling like that whole situation, it's kind of like a feeling. You may notice that if it's a physical injury, the physical injury may be there, but you're noticing that there's a shift. You're noticing in that sense that something has changed. Something has lightened up. Okay? So you can ask yourself that question right now. Does that problem still exist within me? Okay? If you want to share that on the chat, you can. The answer to that question. Does that problem still exist within me? And for those of you who are still feeling it, I can give you a second follow-up for the group healing here, okay? A second exercise for you. So again, just asking yourself that question. Does this problem still exist within me? Jason puts it well. Yes, but different. That's okay. It's okay if it's different. All right? So again, if you're still feeling that problem still exists within you, all I want you to do is I want you just to hold out your hand just like you have a sphere right here. Okay? If that problem still exists within you, I want you to put that into the ball. And I want you just to look at it, and I want you just to completely surrender. Okay? So basically what we're doing is we're taking our body out of the equation, we're taking our mind out of the equation, and all we're doing is we're just looking as awareness upon that ball that can still contain some of that problem. Okay, so I want you to do that now for those of you who still have this problem lingering. Okay? So just like you're holding a crystal ball in your hand, and there's a little problem. It's like a little sprinkle of black mist, let's say, okay? And that's still there. So taking your body out of the equation, just like if I was to pull yourself out of the body right now, right? If I was to pull you out of the body, you see the body right there. Oh, okay, I'm not really the body. The body's an instrument. Okay. If I was to take you out of the mind sphere, and you were to see the mind sphere there, oh, okay, well that's just a bundle of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and sensations. So I'm not the body, I'm not the mind. What is it that remains? What remains is awareness, right? So your awareness is shining upon this ball. You are witnessing what is contained inside this ball. And you are imposing that surrendering through awareness and making it lighter, 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 lighter. Letting it go, 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 letting it go. Surrender, 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 surrender. Once you feel you have completely let it go, you have completely surrendered, snap your fingers. Ball disappears, and everything inside that ball disappears as well. The problem is gone, okay? So that is a rendition of the release ball method. Simple, isn't it? That's all we're doing, guys. Okay, it's just a matter of letting go of the body, letting go of the mind, realizing what permanently remains is my awareness. And I'm just shining the light of my awareness, my witnessing, upon that ball that represents that problem inside. So I make it lighter, 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 lighter. I let it go, I let it go, I let it go, I let it go. I surrender, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender, I surrender. It's now lighter than air. Snap of the fingers. Poof. The ball and everything inside the ball is gone. And you're free. This is what I'm talking about, guys. This is you taking your magnetism and folding it back on itself into the ether so that the waters become still again. So that particular perturbation representing the problematic condition is now folding back upon itself. It's like how we fold up a piece of paper, right? Now we're just unfolding the piece of paper and returning it back into its natural state. So we're just folding, unfolding, folding, unfolding, okay? So when basically we're folding, we're creating that inverse. We're creating that inverse through the ether, okay? That's what creates the north and southern poles. That's what creates the magnetic field. That's what creates the dielectric field, okay? So when we start to undo that, all that undoing is returning back into surrender, returning back into witness consciousness. And we fold that back upon itself, and now there's no more ripples in the water. The water is now still. We have stilled the waters, okay? That's etheric science, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what Etherics is based off of, okay? It's exactly why you guys would have the ether beds or the ether cloth or the healing code cards in that way. It's all based upon etheric science, and it's simplistic science. It really is, okay? Once you understand the mechanics, which I work to try to simplify as best as I can. I know when I watch Ken Wheeler's videos, he has a little bit of a difficult time trying to really simplify it, to put it into real simple layman's terms. Well, that's my job. I look into the complicated and I try to make it as simple can be regarding you guys. Every single thought is a sneeze of the ether. Okay, I want you guys to repeat that with me. Every single thought is a sneeze of the ether. That's all it is. Every single thought. Okay? We inverted the ether. We created a dielectric magnetic field through thought. And now that thought is there. And now we've applied it into ourselves. Thinking, oh my God, I'm sick. Oh my God, I'm ill. Oh my God, I'm insecure. Oh my God, I'm a victim. Oh my God, I'm addicted to this. Oh my God, I'm dependent on somebody. Oh my God, the world is in chaos. Achoo, 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 achoo. That's what it is. You're making the ether sick with all of your thoughts that represent this convolution, that represent this contamination and this perturbation. When you go back into surrender, those thoughts, those perturbations fold back upon themselves and the waters are clear. Okay? So that is the magnetic that is folding itself back together. When you completely clear that away, you are now completely free of that magnetism. That magnetism is gone. You've cleared up the singularity. Singularity is now folding upon itself. We've healed the sneeze. We've healed the puncture. We've healed the pressure that caused the ether to fold back out of itself. Okay? Now we're folding it back in. Simple, guys. Really is. Okay? Just stop making the ether sneeze so much. Right? Because it's your own magnetic field that's creating these perturbations. Right? Or I'd say it's your own ether here that is, again, unfolding and creating all these perturbations that represent the magnetic field. Okay? So we want to have a magnetic field, of course, because that's the nature of our physical body. That's the nature of our emotional, mental bodies. Everything that represents the layers of our beingness is perturbation. But there's a harmonic geometry to it. When we're out of alignment, we get disharmonious vibration, disharmonious harmonics. And that's what we're folding back in so that our natural geometry returns. Do you guys want a very simple exercise that's going to make you immune to all sickness? And you know how simple it is? It's very simple. Okay. Here's the exercise. I want you to go onto Google Images, and I want you to type in platonic solids. Okay? And I want you to get printouts of platonic solids. When you're meditating, I want you to either through the open eyes, just gaze at a platonic solid, or if you feel you can create it within your mind with your eyes closed, to contemplate a platonic solid. What that's going to do is that's going to completely reharmonize your entire magnetic field, which means those perturbations that are causing illness and harsh conditions within yourself are going to fold. They're going to dissipate, right? They're going to return back. You're smoothing out the waters again, so that your magnetic field in that sense that exists is now completely in a state of harmony. This is exactly what they would do in ancient Egypt. If you go to Egypt, you will notice that there are certain platonic solids that are carved on these walls, and they would go and they would take someone in there, and they would be able to bear witness to all the platonic solids, all the natural geometries that are carved on the wall. And they would stay in there for a certain amount of time. They would come out of that chamber completely healed of any form of illness. All you're doing is witnessing platonic solids, because they are the natural formation of harmonic geometry that brings you into wellness. It's optimizing your field. Do you guys want to know how you get clairvoyance, how you get clairaudience? Okay, Judith, if you don't know what platonic solids is, like I said, I want you to go to Google Images. Okay, they are platonic solids. They're natural geometries. Okay, guys, a cube is a platonic solid. What we call a four-sided pyramid or a tetrahedron is a platonic solid. Okay, what we would also refer to as an icosahedron, a dodecahedron, okay, an octahedron. These are examples of platonic solids. Okay, Metatron's cube, for example, is a platonic solid, a combination of them, you could say. Okay, so I'd like you to look that up. I want you to go to Google Images and type in platonic solids rather than me trying to define them for you. Figure it out for yourself. Okay, this is all part of your journey to look at the platonic solids and saying, these are the natural geometries of creation. And when I apply them to myself, I'm getting healed. Okay, Etherics complements this. Etherics is working to work with the ether bed, to work with the healing code cards, to work with the ether cloth, the ether clothing, to bringing you back into natural harmonic geometry, to basically harmonize your magnetic field so that your field is now pristine. It's now strong. Okay? This is what the ancients knew. They would take you into a room. Here's platonic solids. Here's natural harmonic geometry everywhere. And you would just sit in that room. You could gaze at the walls, or you could just be present in that room, because that natural harmonic geometry is manifesting, is bringing forward a natural harmonic. And that is restructuring your magnetic field to be completely healed and cured from everything. This is the science that has been hidden from us for many thousands of years, because they want people to get sick and continue to get sick by working with doctors who have no idea what the heck they're doing. Trying to give you a bunch of drugs, trying to give you a bunch of prescription medications that is only going to make you more sick. Right? It's not the answer. Look at what's behind me, guys. That is a natural harmonic geometry. Okay? Even the Om is a beautiful vibrational pattern. Okay? This makes you well. And you contemplate on it. You can either look at them, stare it forward, even with Etherics, where I have the quintessence. Okay? That too is a natural alchemical symbol of harmony, right? Complementing all of the elements, the quintessence, all the 5, right? So when you start to bask yourself into that, that's what's healing everything. Okay, I want to share this with you guys because it's extremely important. It's more important than anything else I've talked about so far. Okay, and so that is what I want to remind you of. Go and work with your platonic solids. Right now, I'm working on the Christ oil video. Okay, the Christ oil video is going to tell you this as well too. I'm giving you a bit of a spoiler. Okay, but that's one of the things that we can do to assist us with having the Christ oil ascend up the spine and going back into the brain and activating millions of brain cells, is you start basking and contemplating platonic solids. Okay? Nobody else who has actually done research on the Christ oil has told you guys this. Kind of surprising. Okay? They talk a lot about the biblical references and stuff like that. Oh, you just have to live a clean life and you have to live a pure life and try to avoid sex and stuff. No, guys, that's not the answer here. Okay? I'm giving you guys practical measures with the Christ oil video about what you can practically do to have the Christ oil raise up in you. Nobody else has talked about this. It's a shame. So nobody else is doing it. Guess I got to do it. Okay? So that will be coming very shortly. I'm just finishing filming the rest of the Christ oil video today. I should have it edited either tonight or tomorrow. So probably no later than tomorrow night, it should be ready to go. The new Christ oil video on New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out. One of the most powerful videos I've ever done. Okay? All right, guys, so I'll stop blabbing about that, and we'll start blabbing more about Q&A. So let me just go ahead and go to the chat. We are going to move into Q&A now. I think I saw a donation here. Okay, this is from Martine. I require healing for my friend Laura. Had gallbladder and a mass remove surgery, and possibly concerned about blood clot. Okay. So Martine, as we're done with healing right now, I would like you to take your comment and I want you to email it to me, okay? And I will certainly work on your friend Laura later on, okay? So please just email me at brad@etherics.co, okay? So that's AETHERX.co. Just let me know, hey Brad, it's Martine. I did a donation on the super chat. This is for my friend Laura. Again, just kind of copy and paste that comment there, okay? And I will get to it later on, and I'll help her out with it, okay? Right now, we're moving on to Q&A. Okay, so let me scroll up to the top of the chat. I'm going to work my way down. Oh, I just got another donation here from Ufuk. He says, I heard the absolute non-dual unchanging existence is prior to consciousness or awareness. Okay, so Ufuk, that's a mistake right there, okay? You got to let go of the idea of priorness or post-haste, right? Here's something that happened prior, here's something that happens later. The non-dual doesn't recognize that, okay? So even with that particular statement, if you heard it from somewhere, then that person's not working with the true non-dual, okay? The non-dual does not have a sequence of transition. Everything is now, okay? You simply are. That's it. That's a simple way of summing up non-dual. All is the self. There is only the self, okay? So if I was to write that down in a sentence, that is the entire nature of the non-dual. There is only the self, period. Okay? It does not connotate to the idea of time, does not connotate to the idea of matter, to the idea of space or anything of those things, because those don't even truly exist. Okay? So as you're saying here, as awareness is self and other, duality, relatively, vibrationality. If this is so, how can awareness then become aware of the absolute? The absolute and awareness are one and the same, right? You're not drawing a line between the idea of what is awareness and what is the absolute. The awareness is the absolute. The absolute is awareness, right? When we look into the nature of what is duality, well, duality represents everything that is separation. Everything that tells you that something needs its own compartment, that it needs its own dresser drawer in that way, right? Everything that represents the separate self, everything that feels like it divides you, like it segregates you, which basically causes illness. Illness is a manifestation of duality. When you guys are ill, physically, mentally, emotionally, that is a manifestation of duality, okay? because you're seeing yourself separate. You're violating the natural laws. What are the natural laws? As I've talked about, everything is the center point to everything that exists. And by you remaining in that center point, you abide in the natural laws with everything. What we call cause and effect, with what we call change, with what we call time and space, with all of these things. Everything that represents life itself has a center point. And that center point that you remain in is when you're silent, when you're still, when you're in surrender. Just like what you guys were able to do when you had that crystal ball, you shone the light of awareness upon it, everything was let go of, and it was gone. How did you do that? You surrendered. Okay? That's the nature of the non-dual. Guys, if you want to look at a fine example of what the non-dual is, you look at nature. Okay? You go out into a forest. You go out by the ocean. You look at the earth as a whole. Nature lives in the non-dual. Nature does not judge you. Nature does not ridicule you. Nature does not try to encourage you to look at things separately. Nature simply is. Nature is the perfect defining quality that represents the essence of the non-dual. But when you're trying to categorize awareness and the absolute, this is wrong. The absolute and the awareness are one and the same. Okay? You as awareness is what will always be. You as the absolute is what will always be. Everything that represents thought, feeling, sensation, emotions, everything pertaining to form is impermanent. Okay? The body is impermanent. It will have an expiration date. The mind is impermanent because thoughts come and go, feelings come and go, emotions come and go, sensations come and go, form comes and goes. That's not the real. Okay? The true real is you as awareness, is you as consciousness, is you as the absolute. So you're basically just talking about the same thing with different terms. Absolute, awareness, consciousness, the self, right? God, it's all the same. It's all the one, right? No beginning, no end, no middle. Just is. Okay? That's what I can share about that for you. Vibration, again, is a product of the mind. Remember what the ether truly is. It's the calm fluid. Okay? It's the still pond. It's completely still. It's so still you don't even know it's a pond until there's a sneeze, until there's a ripple, until there's a drop that creates that ripple. That's created by thought. Okay? So thought is disturbing the pond. That thought, therefore, magnetizes a form through the dielectric magnetic. Okay? So again, you are inverting the ether by thinking. Okay? You as infinite intelligence, you as consciousness, is using the bridge of thought to invert the etheric, invert the ether. Okay? It is an inverted effect. And that is what creates the dielectric magnetic field. Okay? It is a byproduct. It is a perturbation of the ether, because the ether is unfolding upon itself. Now, even the ancient mystics knew this. They didn't explain it into modern scientific terms today. But basically, when you are completely in oneness with the self, you are the still waters. Which means everything that represents the mind folds back upon itself, just like you are returning that particular inverted effect back into the ether. Okay, so you're unfolding yourself back into the ether, so it returns back into harmony. When we return back to the mind with the sparking of thought, we get the dielectric, we get the magnetic. Okay, the dielectric is the momentum, it is the inertia, it is the acceleration. The magnetism is the loss of inertia. It is the loss of acceleration. It's the remains. It's the phlegm and the mucus when you sneeze. But the force is the dielectric. Okay? That's the idea of the dielectric and the magnetism. Okay? And thought is the catalyst to that, to causing the ether to fold. Right? Like you fold up a piece of paper. Okay? So there's that fold, there's that inverted effect. Maybe the piece of paper analogy isn't so good, but you're basically just unfolding thing, right? Maybe it's like origami in that way. You could say that. But you're basically unfolding it, okay? Just like you have a geometry here, you're twisting, kind of like a folding of a sponge or a ringing of a sponge in that way. Then when you finally let go of the sponge, it snaps back into its natural geometry, okay? Or into its natural harmony, I should say. So that's the example here of the ether, okay? So again, every thought is a disturbance of the ether, okay? Every thought is what causes the ether to be distorted. And that distortion is the byproduct to what we refer to as the dielectric magnetic field, okay? This is etheric science. This is the true science. This is what Tesla knew. This is what many other great minds from Tesla's generation even to today and back knew. They knew this about the dielectric field, about the magnetic field, about what it is. Can modern science today really even describe what a magnetic field is? No. They don't know because they don't include the ether in their equations. They're using photons and virtual photons and all this stupidness to try and get the idea of how things work. You're adding a bunch of stuff that's not there. Becomes distortion, becomes ignorance, right? You got to include the ether. You got to include infinite intelligence. You got to include consciousness. That's the true science. All right? So Ufuk, very good question with that. Thank you for sharing. All right. Let me just go to the next one here. This is from Roman. Okay, Brad, can you look into whether non-player characters or shadow people, as per writers such as Dolores Cannon, can become with a soul if they start to become spiritual? With all due respect, a lot of you guys don't even know what you're asking, okay? And I don't say that in a demeaning way or anything like that. But again, a lot of people are putting ideas behind non-playable characters, background people, backdrop people, extras. And they're exploring something that is still distorted in regards to the nature of that question, okay? Guys, everything is soul. Everything is spirit, okay? Even when you look at something that would represent the nature of a clone, it was still created by a soulful being, okay? So again, looking at the idea of living extras or background people in that way, Adronis would always refer to them as background people. I will give you Adronis's information as he told it to me regarding this phenomena, okay? You guys have to decide for yourselves whether you take it or leave it. Everything that represents what you would call background people are just fillers. They are holographic inserts created through the natural consciousness of the earth and the collective consciousness together based upon the scenario that fits the host that is witnessing a scene appropriate for their own evolutionary state. Okay? That's it. Whether you guys are talking at clones or whether you guys are talking about non-playable characters, you're trailing off in things. Okay? So again, certain people are saying, I'm talking about clones and I'm talking about non-playable characters or I'm talking about background people. So the thing is, you're mixing it in together with one thing that isn't. Okay? The background people I talk about are not non-playable characters. The background people I talk about are not clones. This is where people get confused. It's like taking these bunch of M&Ms and you're just mixing the colors together and you don't even know what the original color was to begin with. We're creating too much distortion here with the idea of these labels. And people just start trailing off with these ideas because they start getting the terms mixed up, and you're talking about shadow people and you're talking about non-playable characters. Those two are two different phenomena right there. Background people is a completely different phenomena from anything there that you're mentioning, right? So you're looking at mixing and matching these different characteristics and these different terms together, and that's what's causing confusion. As I've talked about, it hasn't been so much about non-playable characters, okay? That thing doesn't even really exist, okay? I know people like to use video game references because that's all it is. Guys, that came from gamers, okay? Non-playable characters is a gamer's term. You guys playing massive multiplayer online role-playing games, and you have non-playable characters that are basically saying these certain things to you, okay? It's not so much in the idea of looking at it in that context. As I said, there are background people. A lot of the background people are rarely even in interaction with you, okay? The background people, the backdrop people, living extras, right? That is fine. That all fits in the same category. When you're talking about non-playable characters, you're basically just talking about clones, okay? And clone programs are very, very different, okay? It's a different topic from what I'm talking about here. regarding background people, or backdrop people, or living extras in that way. I know Dolores Cannon talked about it, but even she was talking about something else. She wasn't talking about NPCs. She wasn't talking about clones. A lot of you guys are talking about clones, right? Even when Janine was looking at this stuff, you guys are looking at clone stuff. This is all stuff about clones, okay? I'm not talking about clones. Do not assign the idea of background people as clones, because they're not. They're projections. They're holograms, okay? They are natural inserts that are there to fill a certain scene based upon the subconscious evolution of the host who is witnessing them, or the hosts who are witnessing them, okay? That's all it is. It's no more different than going onto a film set and you have all these extras, and these extras don't really say anything. You can hear them chatting, but they're not talking directly to you. They're peripheral in that way. Some of them are soulful beings. Some of them are background people. They're just holographic inserts. As I've talked about, there's a version of me right now probably walking around Europe using my own holographic insert because it fits the scene in regards to the host or hosts that are witnessing that scene. Okay? They may say, oh my God, Brad's over here in Europe. Right? Well, I'm right here. But there's a holographic insert of me walking around the areas of Europe, walking around the areas of New Zealand. Right? Because I fit the scene. My matrix, my projection represents the fitting of the scene just as a backgrounder. I'm not interacting with anybody. I'm just walking around the scene. Okay? It's like when you see people, when you're just walking around, you swore you saw your best friend, but you know your best friend's back at home, but that person looked exactly like your best friend. It's an example like that. Okay? These are just holographic inserts. That's all they are. They are natural holograms produced through the earth and natural collective consciousness to help fill a scene, to assist in the evolution of the hosts and hosts who are witnessing them. That's a background person. Those are background people. Okay? NPCs, clones are completely different. So I'm just giving my perspective of that, my 2 cents. Take it with what you will. All right? Thank you, Roman, for your question. Okay, I got a few more. I think I got a couple more donations down here. Let's see. From Maya. Maya, thank you very much. This one here is from Grow. Grow says, Brad, can you see in the cards about insects in human food and cat dog food? Is it scaremongering and lies from the media? Okay. I have heard about that, right, where they're trying to encourage people to eat bugs and stuff like that. It really isn't important for you guys to worry about this stuff. I'm just saying that as a disclaimer ahead of time. But anyways, let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, can you see in the cards about insects in human food and cat and dog food? All right, let's take a look. Okay, it's not to say that this wasn't a plan, okay? It certainly was an authoritative plan that they were trying to do, but again, a lot of it is being foiled, okay? So there's plans in that sense to foil this whole idea, but yeah, they were planning on that. They were trying to actually get people to say, it's okay to eat bugs, guys, right? Then they realize that a lot of these bugs have particular toxins that are not edible for man, right? You're not here to eat a bunch of insects, okay? Eating insects is not going to be good for you. So again, they're trying to make it feel like it is. It's just all part of their petty plans. It's one of their petty plans that is basically blowing up in their face. All right? People are saying, no, I'm not going to be eating insects. Okay? I'm not going to be eating bugs. That is not going to be completely digestible and balanced with my system because that's going to cause some problems. Okay? We're not meant to be eating a bunch of nasty bugs and stuff like that. Those are the crawlers, right? Those are the cleaners of the air, cleaners of the land. All right? They're not meant to be feasted upon by human consumption. Okay, so there is an exploitation coming on about that. They reveal these things on the MSM to let people get a heads up about this. Oh, there's not any bug stuff in my food or my cat's food or my dog food. So yes, it certainly was a plan that they were planning to do it. Okay, there's no doubt about that because we've seen articles and videos about that as well too. But the whole idea is that it's going to get debunked. It's going to get thrown out altogether. Like I said, that big, gigantic, cosmic stamp of denial. Unless a person really wants to go out and eat a bunch of bugs, when I don't really know why you'd want to, but but that is, again, all part of a World Economic Forum plan, right? Basically, dark cabal plan, you could say, to basically try and just poison people in another way. Say, guys, it's okay to eat bugs. There's a lot of protein in bugs. There's a lot of nutrition in these bugs, so you should be eating these insects. Like, you guys are out of your friggin' mind. But they're exploiting that right now so that people will basically react in that way. I'm not eating bugs, get out of here, right? So there we go. That creates that cosmic stamp that says denial on it, right? So it's denial of that. So that is exactly what's happening. It's all part of a... Guys, we're basically in the era right now where the idea of truth bombs, right? Or data dumps are natural now. Data dumps are basically coming in these outrageous articles that we see online or on the MSM in that way. They're all structured to be data dumps. They're all structured to be truth bombs. Okay, it's why a lot of these weird things are coming out all the time. Guys, should we be eating bugs? Right? Should we have insects for dinner? Should we put canned insect stuff, canned insect vermin into our dog food, into our cat food, into our own supply foods? Right? These are coming out so that you are aware of certain plans that they've come together. It's not a pretty sight, okay? It's nasty. But according to the cards, yes, this is something they were planning to do. Okay? So again, as people are aware of this and they stand up against it, there comes down the cosmic denial stamp. Okay? So good question, Grove. Thank you for that. But like I said, it's nothing for you guys really to concern about, right? It's the collective. We cannot be responsible what the collective digests. The collective digests what the collective digests. When you already have your own wisdom and other people are asking you about it, you can now share that wisdom with others. You become authority of that wisdom. Okay? So, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay. Yeah, even Karina was asking the same question about insects in the food, so already covered it. All right. Just go down the list here a bit more. I'm not sure if I got all the donation questions. I think I did. Okay, yeah. So we'll move on. Okay, this one here is from Val. Val says, thanks, Brad, for my mom's healing. Everything went magically all right. I've been doing your healing techniques to my mom and myself too. Okay, so Val's mother was sick, and I was also inviting him into a group to help out with group healing, so his mother's feeling better. That's good. Okay, feeling magically all right. That's great to hear. Okay, so let me just go down the list here a bit more. Terry asks, isn't all pain in the body due to shadow wanting to expose itself? Shadow does not have its own will, Terry. Okay? You're the only one that has will. Okay? When the idea of you thinking that shadow has will, that's your own will imposing the idea of thinking that the shadow has its own will. The shadow doesn't have its own will. I want you guys to go ahead and look at your shadow on the ground right now. And I want you to have a conversation. What does the shadow say to you? What's the shadow saying right now? It's not saying anything. Because you are only simply putting a lens over your own will and letting the shadow talk through you, through your own willpower. The shadow does not have its own will, does not have its own tendencies, right? It does not have its own willpower to enforce. You are therefore being the vessel. As I said, guys, you are the infinite intelligence. You are the pure consciousness. There's nothing else here that has a second will. There's no second being here. For us to think that the shadow has its own will is to look at it through duality. And that's not the case. How many of you guys have had conversations with your shadow that's right here on the floor? You haven't, okay? Because the shadow is you. Shadow just represents an absence of something, okay? So in order for it to have any form of consciousness, it needs to come through you. Therefore, you are focusing that particular lens. You are creating coherency through that particular lens, focusing, concentrating, and strengthening that will to think that the shadow has a voice when it doesn't. These are tendencies within yourself that you are not aware of that need to be resolved, right? Otherwise, you start behaving as those tendencies. You start being so omnidirectional that everything is concentrating itself back into the poise of a shadow consciousness, but you're the only consciousness. So it's no more different than having a focal lens, right? So everything representing shadow is you, right? So like I said, guys, there's really nothing truly like that is a devil, okay? If God is the one infinite being, then God is also the devil, okay? You have to remember that, and that's something the church would be going, oh, blasphemy, but it's true, right? If there is only one being, wouldn't that one being also be the devil? Wouldn't that one being also be all demons, okay? That's something you have to remember, and remember that we all have, the idea of the light and the shadow, okay? It's our tendencies that represent that focal lens that we shine our light through, creating either a brilliant light or an absence of one, based upon our tendencies. Your responsibility through your own shadow makeup is your need to clear. You have to clear that out for yourself. You're the shadow. Shadow does not have a will of its own. There is only one will, and you are that one infinite will. Okay? There's nothing else here that says, oh, I'm Brad Shadow, and I have my own consciousness. Blah, blah. No. That's all coming through me. Okay? That's coming through the grand intelligence, the infinite intelligence. There is nothing else. There is only the one. Right? You are the one. Something to digest. Okay? Thank you for your question. Okay. Fiona says, thank you, Brad, for healing. I'm feeling a difference. Great. I'm glad to hear it. Thank you, Fiona. Thanks for volunteering. All right, let me go down a bit more. Okay, this one's from Maya. This is for the paid question. Okay, that's what it was. Because Maya had a donation, but there was nothing there. So Maya says, paid, can you ask if the UK government will succeed in enforcing their apparently planned digital ID for all? Okay, so we could look at it in the way of, will the UK government succeed in the corrupt aspect of a digital ID? Okay. Will a corrupt digital ID be birthed through the UK government? Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, no, not really. It's not to say that it wasn't plans, but like I said, the counterforces are pretty much running everything in the UK right now, okay? So there certainly was plans to make that happen, but that's not what's happening. I'm getting like so many positive cards here, okay? So whatever that was, there may still be identifications, but it's not going to be in the idea of surveillance. It's not going to be through the idea of control, okay? So there will be certain forms of identifications that will come together, but it's not going to be the idea in that sense of, oh, part of Agenda 2030 or Agenda 21 or anything of that nature. The idea of rulership or the idea of authority is taking a new spin. It's shifting into a new alignment, okay? So it looks like there's an empowering time for the UK. This is as I've talked about in the past regarding the United Kingdom. I keep getting these very positive readings surrounding the entire governance, not the government, but the governance of the United Kingdom. They're moving into a much more brighter light, into a much more brighter time, okay? So you're right, there was certainly plans for those types of digital identifications to come through the UK, okay? And if there's something that's being said on the news, it's only because it's a data dump, okay? It's a narrative. The narrative, again, has a bunch of these intense stories, and they're just using elements of it as a part of disclosure to give you guys a taste of what was planned in the background that is not going to happen anymore. But there'll still be discussions about it, there'll still be talks about it, blah, 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 blah. But none of it's going to actually come out, okay? Those are all part of using the mainstream media as a data dump central, right? Basically using it as a central intelligence for data dumping right now. Some stories are just ridiculous. I'd say pretty much most of them are pretty ridiculous, but they still have the elements relating to these disclosures. Eating bugs, okay? Digital IDs, trying to create more pandemics, vaccinations, blah, 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 blah. Guys, these are all data dumps, okay? But they're sanitized. They're highly sanitized data dumps to basically try to feed the narrative that is more designed for the sleepers, not the awakeners, okay? If you are awoken, you realize you don't really take anything on the news seriously. If you are truly awoken, you realize that this is all a three-ring circus narrative. If you are truly awoken, you realize that this is all part of a gigantic soap opera that is trying to create the idea of a coming of age for every single person on the planet. Do you surpass what is being told to you through a narrative, or do you fall for it? And if you fall for it, you failed. You failed the test. And if you pass through things and say, I'm not going to let all these things go. I know my own sovereignty. I know my own beingness. And I'm going to work with my tribe. I'm going to work with my soul tribe. I'm going to work with others. I'm going to evolve myself. I'm going to improve myself. And I'm going to take all these things that are truly delightful to me, and I'm going to spread them far and wide and share it with the world. That's a passing grade. Okay? Because if you don't, you just come back again and again and again because you're filled with these tendencies. And these tendencies are linked to this physical plane. And so you come back to some particular type of dimensional earth that represents the association of many of these tendencies that you are coming back and attempting to learn past from. Trying to learn from, trying to evolve past. If you do not get the lesson, you keep coming back. You could stay in spirit for thousands or tens of thousands of years. But if you want to go any higher, you need to go back to the scene of the crime and you need to clean it up. And we keep doing that, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. That's why so many of us have returned. I keep having these tendencies. I'm worried about the government doing this to me. I'm worried about the conditions of current affairs. I'm worried about my family. I'm worried about my friends. I'm worried about my money. I'm worried about sex. I'm worried about relationship, etc. And these are the tendencies that keep feeding you and winding you tighter like a coiled spring so that you can just pop right off. Okay? Your initiation through a coming of age ceremony is the idea of surpassing the common soap opera 3-ring clown show that we call the narrative. You get past that. That's the event, guys. A lot of people have talked about the event. Okay? The event is transcending all of these events together. Right? Coming into your own greatness, coming into your own sovereignty. Why do you think I'm going to be teaching you guys about the Christ oil? Right? Anointing yourself with the Christ oil. That requires someone who's no longer hooked on the narrative of the soap opera of the 3-ring circus clown show that we call the Earth narrative. Okay? It's all there. Yes, there's certain exposures that take place. But again, people still get afraid. Oh my God, Brad, I'm afraid I'm going to eat bugs. I'm afraid this is going to happen. I'm afraid that's going to happen. You're not going into your power here. You're a servant. You're a slave to the narrative. Rather than seeing what these things are showing to you and how to get past them, just as I told you guys, how simple it is to clean away the ball, how to surrender to it, how to lighten up to it altogether, it's gone. You got to keep doing that. You got to keep making that happen, right? Make that a part of your life. Make it the entirety of your life. Is the ability to surrender to all these things that you know are nothing but perturbations and tendencies with you. Okay? Very important to remember. All right, let's go down the list here a bit more. We've got a donation here from Sunflower. Thank you for that. Okay. I think we're going to take 1 or 2 more questions, guys. We're going to wrap up. Okay. Okay, here's a question here from Jason Brooks. Jason Brooks. I don't have my glasses on. So. Jason Brooks. Question, can we expect to become telepathic or even develop X-Men-like abilities such as telekinesis or teleportation? So Jason, I'm assuming this is probably one of your first times on my channel, right? Or maybe you missed a couple of episodes, last couple of weeks. Okay. Guys, I'm not dissing psychic abilities, okay? Psychic abilities are very cool, all right? They widen your perspective pertaining to reality, and that's great. But if you are spending every waking moment trying to develop those abilities, you're wasting your time. Okay? The number one thing that you should be doing through life is going into your own enlightenment. Okay? Enlightenment needs to happen first. Not developing psychic abilities. Not playing around and dicking around with these psychic abilities all the time. Okay? Because you're still going to go through suffering. Oh yeah, look at me, I'm telepathic. Oh yeah, look at me, I'm clairvoyant. But I'm still suffering. I'm still struggling. I'm still hurting. I'm still holding all of these tendencies unto me that makes me feel like I'm worthless. Even though I'm clairvoyant, I still feel like crap. Okay? This is why I say that we're quote-unquote dicking around with psychic abilities. when instead you should be letting that go and coming into the true inner work. The great work is your enlightenment. What is enlightenment? The realization that you are God, the realization that you are spirit, the realization that you are interconnected to all things, that you are omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, that you are awareness, that you are consciousness, that you are the self, that you can identify with every single atom in existence, in all that is, that this is all just a makeup, this is all just a life map of yourself, because you are far beyond all of this. That is your liberation, and you're letting go of all suffering. You're surrendering. I've already taught you guys how to do that through the distance healing that we did today, the group healing. When I'm telling you to surrender to all these things, that's what you're doing in repetition, over and over and over and over and over and over again. Going into your traumas, clearing them out, surrendering to them, letting them go. You are again folding back the ether, returning it back into the clear, still water. That's the idea, guys. I've told you exactly what you need to do in life. It's a matter of you being able to do it yourself. Now, here's the problem. Brad, can you do this for me? Guys, I've had people ask me that. I've had people say, Brad, can you just go ahead and just clear all this stuff away from me? Can you do it for me? That is the sound of a disempowered person who is going to get nowhere. You are not here for another person to do this stuff for you. This is why you have incarnated. If you didn't think that you could do this stuff, guys, you would not be incarnated into a physical body right now. This is your responsibility to do. I'm only being a guide, a tutor, right? It's like a math tutor, okay? On the day of the test, they're not going to be sitting right by, so give me your piece of paper. There you go, 100%, boom, done. Then what the heck was the point of you going into the classroom to have that exam? You got to get back into re-stimulating your ability to be responsible and having your responsibility come together so that you can take care of all the matters that hinder you. This is not about X-Men. This is not about superheroes where you can fly in the air. Yes, we can do all that stuff, guys. I'm not saying we can't. But if that's what you're spending every waking moment of your idea of thinking that you're going to develop intuitive and psychic abilities to work with all this stuff so that you can have ego amusement, you're wasting your time and you're wasting yourself, right? Go into enlightenment first. And then through enlightenment, you're going to notice all these natural abilities that are going to come through. How do you think I know all these things that I'm being shared to you guys? Because I've been opening myself up, following a self-realized path. If you compare to what I've been sharing in the past several years to what I'm sharing right now, do you see how it's evolved? Do you see how it's grown? Do you see how it's expanded? Do you see how everything that I'm able to access grows into greater exponentiality, right? It becomes greater and exponential. That is because you're working with the inner being. You're working with self-realization. You're going into enlightenment, right? I don't know how to put this any more easier to you guys. Your first task is to get enlightened. Nothing should be more important than that. It's more important than your friends. It's more important than your family. It's more important than your career. It's more important than money. It's more important than anything on this planet is your enlightenment, is the realization of the self that everything happens through me, right? Just as Jesus said, he who comes to the Father and learns from him comes through me. And he's also talking about you. If you want to learn from the Father, yet you have to go through yourself. You have to go through the Christ oil, right? The illumination of your being, the Kundalini, okay? The upliftment of yourself, the surrendering of yourself, the ability to bow to your own light and to be humble to your own light. That's the key, guys. Like, am I just speaking a bunch of foreign tongue here? Right? Because I've had these conversations with you guys hundreds of times, and I still get the same kind of questions. Right? Am I speaking Martian up here? Am I speaking Venusian up here, right? Am I speaking Syrian up here? I don't know. Pleiadian or Arcturian? I don't know. But these questions keep coming back again, and I keep saying the same answer. You got to surrender. You got to let go of these things, and you got to move into your own enlightenment. That's step number one. Number one, not number two. Number one. Because if you have not gone into your realization, you haven't even lived yet. You haven't even lived on this earth yet until you move into enlightenment, until you realize who you are. Now life truly begins. If not, you're just feeding off the scraps, and you're basically being a bottom feeder for survival. You're feeding off the crust and the scraps and the bottom feeding of life. Right? It's like the crustaceans on the ocean, being the bottom feeders. And if you're surviving, you're basically being a bottom feeder. You've been feeding off the bottom of the ocean like a crustacean for a very, 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 very long time. Don't you think it's time to break out of that cycle now? Don't you think enough is enough? Don't you think it's time I need to realize who I am? I need to go into my own enlightenment. I need to surrender these things. Because if I keep lighting the torches and start holding my sword and my shield, I'm only staying as a bottom feeder. Right? Get out of the bottom feeding mentality. Extinguish that torch. You're not trying to light anything on fire. Let go of the sword and the shield because you're only fighting yourself. If you realize you're interconnected to all life, you realize the only person you've ever been fighting is yourself. He who lives by the sword dies by it. Who said that? So again, please take these into consideration. That's why I keep repeating these things. I'm happy to repeat them, but I'm just giving you the reminder that as soon as I'm repeating, I'm letting you know, guys, I'm repeating this again and again. Right? You need to move into enlightenment. That's step number one. Work with the release ball method. Work with prana transmission technique. Work with BCR. Okay? And get yourself freed. Right? Getting out of this slave mentality of thinking that the government owns me, the government's doing this, it's an us versus them. That's traditional duality. Do you see nature doing such ignorance? No. Let go of it all, because when you go into that state, there's no need to fight anymore because you understand why things are happening the way it is. And those ideas of battles aren't going to be in your life. I can say this from personal experience because I used to want to fight. Before I was going through all this transformation on a spiritual level, I wanted to fight as well too. I was very upset about all these things, hearing about what happened with 9/11 and getting into conspiracy theory. I wanted to beat somebody up, right? But again, that came out of my ignorance. And so I found the causes of my ignorance and I dissolved them away by surrendering to them, by letting forgiveness reign supreme. Okay? That's the key, guys. I'm only telling you this because through my own experience, through my own sharing of what has worked for me. But you have to find your own unique way as well too. Okay? Let's go to one last question. We're going to wrap up. Okay. All right, guys, let me see if I can find one more question. Okay. So I'd like you guys to really reflect on what I've talked about with the ether, okay? Like I said, why do you think I named my company Etherics? Because it's etheric science, okay? The X in the ether represents bringing down the infinite intelligence from above to be used in the below, so that the below and the above work together. Do you notice that when you look at the X, you see a down arrow and an up arrow? Okay, that's the whole idea. That is bringing the medium together. That's why it's called AetherX, right? Or Etherics in that way. It's all about etheric technology. As above, so below. Bringing everything that is divine from the above to work together with the below so that you're raising yourself up. The arrow pointing up and the divine coming down. And the X is the bridge pertaining to that. That's why I've called it Etherics. Etherics. Okay? Something food for thought. And look into the etheric science that I'm teaching you guys. Because what I'm teaching you, and I'm not saying this to boast, guys, what I'm teaching you is not only fact, but it is the truth. That's the nature in regards to etheric science, to consciousness science. That's the true science. You start understanding magnetism. You start understanding how the dielectric field works. You start understanding how the ether works. You will know the answer to all things. I can guarantee you that. Okay? That's why you want to study that. So not just in regards to what I've shared, look into what Ken Wheeler is talking about. Okay? Ken Wheeler on YouTube. Look him up. KenWheeler. Like I said, he's kind of an acquired taste, but his information is brilliant. Okay, the guy himself is a complete genius. Okay, because like I said, I've looked into a lot of his stuff, and a lot of the stuff he shares is through through a scientific lingo. Okay, but a lot of the stuff he shared is very much like what I've shared, kind of more on a spiritual, simplistic path. Okay, so I've kind of simplified a lot of the stuff that he's saying in much more advanced technical terms. So it's a breath of fresh air to see someone like that doing that, because I feel like he's the only one doing it. Okay, I know what that's like. So I'd love to see more and more people do that. I really would. And it's just a matter of time before more people start doing that, and that's the great. But we have to have pioneers, of course, right? Okay. So I'm still looking for that one last question here. Let me take a look here. Okay, let's ask Kathy Smith, are sun tanning beds good for you? Okay, well guys, I actually do use sun tanning beds. Okay? I use the standing beds. All right. So I guess you'll have different perspectives on this, but let's take a look. I'll basically look at, are sun tanning beds beneficial? Okay, are sun tanning beds beneficial? And I think this is the question, the last question that we'll end on. All right, let's take a look. They are actually, yes. Okay, so there's good news with that, right? So again, this is really, really helpful in that sense. It brings you into greater health. This represents also a vitality card, okay? So again, youthful regeneration, getting your vitamin D, okay? Now, of course, it's not the only way to get vitamin D. Again, there's nothing that beats just going outside in the sun, right? Of course, for in winter or fall time, different story. Early spring is great, but again, very, very good. This is actually quite beneficial. Yes, sunbeds are good, okay? Because again, they're giving you that dose of vitamin D, okay? That vitamin D is very, very concentrated when you're going into a sunbed. Okay? I know there's some people who have disagreed and saying, oh, you shouldn't be going to sunbeds and they can produce cancer and stuff. Guys, I've been going to sunbeds since I was 19 years old. Not once have I gotten any form of cancer from sunbeds at all, ever, okay? Even my partner goes to sunbeds as well too, right? And she looks great. So, yes, this is all about the idea of bringing balance, bringing peace to some people who thought it was a very, very conflicting situation. So guys, I'm just reading the cards here, right? I'm getting 2 aces here, right? From the hope and fear, from the behind the scenes. It's very, very good, okay? Going in sunbeds is great. It's a wonderful thing to do. Going out into the sun is great, and it's a wonderful thing to do. I'm not saying you need to go out in the sun for 8 hours and cook, okay? I'm saying just give yourself a little more time to go out into the sun, right? Give yourself that tan in that way. It's suntan lotion that's the problem, okay? If it's not organic, if it's not something that we're naturally developing on an organic level, there's chemicals in that, right? When people start throwing all that suntan lotion garbage, that artificial chemical garbage on you, that's the problem, okay? So we need to make sure that if we're putting something on our skin, it's organic, it's something that complements our body, right? You could use, for an example, shea butter, coconut oil. They have a certain SPF quality to them, okay? So looking into things that have much more of an organic trait to them rather than chemicals, okay? That's what causes havoc with the body. Okay, guys, we are out of time for today, so thank you very much for joining me on this special episode of New Earth TV Live here on this Sunday. I'll be back again Friday next week for New Earth TV Live, and of course Thursday this coming week for New Earth Tarot as well too. And look for the new Christ oil video that is going to be coming up. I should be ready by either tonight or tomorrow. Okay, I'm looking forward to debuting that with you guys as well. Blessings to you all. Please let people know about a lot of stuff I share here. Share it out, all right? Use the chapter settings, right? So if you're at 5 minutes, 10 seconds, send that at 5 minutes, 10 seconds through the link. And if there's something important that I'm talking about there, do that, right? You don't have to watch the whole video. But maybe the part where I was talking about the ether field, right? The nature of the ether and working with ether science. That's just a good thing to share with other people so that people know this, so we get this stuff out, okay? It also helps me, guys, because I don't have a lot of time in my hands. If any of you can make chapters of these videos in the comments, then I can add those chapters to the video, right? That helps me out a lot, because I just don't have time to go through the entire video and do that. It helps me with my community if they do that, okay? Thank you, guys. Blessings to you all, and I'll speak to you next time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Goodbye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also Etherics.co. And through Etherics, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through Etherics. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on Etherics as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on Etherics. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, and may it be well with you.